Good morning. Thank you for coming. Just a quick things I want to go over. Yesterday afternoon, officers were dispatched to suspicious activity here in the city of North Augusta. We in turn spotted a vehicle, obviously, and tried to attempt to stop that vehicle. The suspect fled in the vehicle, which caused a collision. The collision was at Martintown Road and Georgia Avenue. There were some injuries in that particular wreck. I'll talk about those in a little bit. The suspect continues down Georgia Avenue and exits the truck, and as you can have seen and heard from the previous reports, shots were fired. So at that point, he opens fires on our officers. A 15-year veteran, Lieutenant Aaron Fitter, he was shot in the leg and taken to Augusta University ER. I spent time with Aaron. I went directly to AU, met with Aaron and his wife. I talked to him. He was in good condition when I talked to him. Stayed with him the entire time that he was released last night. He's at home. Aaron's doing well. I checked on him last night. Checked on him again this morning. Aaron's doing fine. For some reason, when this all happened, obviously at 4:30 in the afternoon, it's a very busy time on Georgia Avenue. Shortly after Aaron was shot, a Good Samaritan stopped and asked Aaron, was he okay? Aaron said, I've been shot, I need some help, can you get me to the hospital? We're still trying to identify that Good Samaritan this morning. So that's a blessing for Aaron and for us that she stopped and took him to the hospital very quickly. The suspect, information on the suspect currently is Thomas Arrington, 42 years old, of Clarksville, South Carolina, has been charged. He's been charged by SLED. SLED has taken over the investigation because of the officer involved shooting. Our prayers and concerns and blessings obviously are those that were injured in the wreck at Georgia and Martintown, where the suspect hit a vehicle. I don't have an updated condition of those people. I think there were minor injuries at the scene. Obviously, it could have been worse. We're grateful for the quick response that we had, our partners there on the scene. I just want to assure that the public that this doesn't happen in North Augusta a lot. I'm telling you, this is something that we never seen coming. We don't know how this happened so quickly, but it did. And I just want to thank those involved in it. So from our perspective, our case is closed. SLED has the case. I've talked to SLED this morning. They're sending out a press release to talk about the charges that will be against this individual. We'll continue to work with SLED, our partners in that regard. So for me, I want to talk a little bit about the officers and what they did and their execution of the police that actually happened yesterday, which was they showed great restraint, they showed great training. The pedestrian traffic, the vehicle traffic on Georgia Avenue, you all know at 4:30 in the afternoon is tremendous. The amount of gunfire that was happening at that time of day and the positions that we were in, our officers showed great restraint. Nobody was hurt, nobody was injured, so that's a great thing. Our dispatchers, my dispatchers were obviously involved in this from the beginning. The coordination of the resources to the scene happened very quickly. There's a lot of people I need to thank as far as, our partners in law enforcement, which was the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, Edgefield County Sheriff's Office, Aiken DPS, Department of Public Safety, the Highway Patrol, we had ATF, we had SLED on the scene. Another interesting fact is, that was a large crime scene. That crime scene started around 4:30, 4:40, and I think it went past 2 a.m. This morning. So obviously a lot of time and a lot of effort spent there. But the other interesting thing too is the local businesses that were impacted by this thing yesterday afternoon. Obviously they came out and helped and fed us, brought us water, and just make sure that we're okay. So again, I go back to what I said previously about this is an unusual event for us. to happen in North Augusta. But I want to assure every citizen of this city that we're safe, you're safe, everybody's good. We're going to check on people. That's always been our priority. That will continue to be our priority in the city of North Augusta. Anybody got any questions I can answer?
I have a quick question. With the suspect's extensive criminal history in North Augusta, could you speak to kind of the importance of, I guess my first question would be, was he on your radar in terms of having so much criminal history? Was this someone that was well known to police?
Not that we're aware of right now. I mean, we've got some intelligence that told us after the fact that the Marshal Service was interested in this guy. But as far as being on our radar, I think this was a suspicious call. The caller was very meticulous about what she saw, described what was going on, and so our quick response led us to this individual. I wouldn't say he was on our radar, but we definitely found out that this was a dangerous individual.
Chief, you mentioned something about officers using great restraint. Did any North Augusta officers return fire?
They did. A couple officers were involved in returning fire to the suspect, but I think you have to understand too the training and restraint that I talked about during that time of day. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, what happened here? Well, we have to look beyond the sights of a gun. We have to look at, you know, what's in our view, what's in our vision, what kind of crossfire we're going to get into. So my hat's off and kudos to our department and the training that we go through to make sure, to ensure that public is safe. And that's what our guys, that's what I'm proud of, is the restraint that we showed during a busy time of the day, which is obviously a great thing for our citizens.
And there's been some video circulating on social media. I think we've all shared it on our airs. What went through your mind if you've seen it when you saw it? And just talk about what went through your mind when you found out what your officers went through there on the ground.
Well, actually, I didn't see that video. As I said, I went straight to the hospital and spent some time with my officer. And, you know, his wife had mentioned that Facebook was already posted, and it was an astonishment to me to see that while I'm sitting there trying to figure out what's going on with my officer. But it just means that the amount of gunfire that was shot at my officers yesterday, it was an enormous crime scene. We thank God nobody was hurt, no citizens were hurt, but that kind of thing doesn't happen here daily. It's almost like it come out of a movie. You don't see that stuff every day. So we're just happy no one's hurt.
And I have two questions for you. My first one is, I know you touched on it a little bit, but again, with the crossfire that was going on, because there was a lot of viewers that were saying, you know, there was gunshots going past their heads just inches away. So the question I have for you is, like, especially for locals, what do they do, citizens, in that situation? How do they protect themselves when there's gunfire just shooting off all around them? What can they do to protect themselves?
Well, obviously, you know, we never planned for these things to occur in a busy part of the day. It did, and you know, I would caution people about, you know, using cell phones trying to gather footage. That's one thing, and you know, again, a stray bullet could strike anyone. That's the blessing we have today. Is thank the Lord, none of that did happen, but it could have happened because of the amount of gunfire that happened. So I would suggest, you know, if you see something, or if you hear something like that, step away. You know, lock your car, get away from it as quick as you can, because you can see from the videos that I've seen and you've seen off of Facebook and YouTube that it's a very delicate situation and it's a very dangerous situation that is involving. And that didn't happen with one or two shots. It happened over a period of time. And so that crime scene got dangerous as it went on that day. Mm-hmm. It certainly did.
And then my second question for you, I don't know if you're going to send this out in a press release, but could we get the correct spelling of the officer's name and the suspect's name?
Sure, absolutely. We'll give it to you.
Okay.
It's Public Safety Lieutenant Aaron, A-A-R-O-N, Fittery, Fittery. And again, Aaron's a 15-year veteran with public safety.
I have a quick question. When's the last time that you or North Augusta has seen something like this happen, especially in the heart of downtown?
I've been here 12 years. This is the second officer that I've had shot. I had an officer shot early, maybe the first couple weeks I was here 12 years ago. But other than that, and it wasn't downtown. So for me, this is the first time that I've seen something of this magnitude occur downtown in this particular area.
Can you
I
tell
think that goes without saying. I mean, you don't see that every day anyway.
And just to follow up to that, City of North Augusta continues to grow more and more. Is that something you guys are trying to handle? Anything like that that's affecting you guys, or?
I don't think there's so much that. I mean, obviously we know that we've got some growth pattern that's going to occur. We have a great city council and a great city administrator who stand by us and give us what we need. So those things will be talked about in conversations to have in the future. But we've got a great support system.
In terms of support, what are you all doing for the officers that were involved in terms of supporting them, counseling? I'm not sure if Support One
Yeah.
has partnered with you all.
That's a great question. Support One was at the hospital last night. They came out. We rushed all our folks to a conference room that were involved, and I'm talking about the entire shift that was there. Was given. Support One was there on the scene and talked our guys through that. I have personally called each and every one of those officers on that shift this morning and talked to them and made sure they're okay. We will offer some counseling. We'll give them some help if they need help. Not only the shift, but anybody that was on that scene that particular day. So yes, the help is there if they want it. Absolutely.
All right, I think we're good. We're good?
Thank you.
Thank you.